underworld, the code of silence is enforced with blood.
Right.
Those branded as snitches, witnesses who cooperate with
like
police, often meet a brutal fate.
Right.
Gangs cultivate a reputation for ruthless.
Damn, who the fuck had a Draco? Nah, don't tell me we got fat ass Drakes getting blown at random people.
Retribution, scaring many into staying silent, but
somebody
some
need help.
Do speak up for justice.
What
follows is a chilling montage of their stories. People who testified or cooperated, only to vanish or be silenced forever. Before we get started on this video, make sure you go check out my website that's in the description, where I post viral videos daily. And plus, make sure you like the video and share it with someone to spread the violence awareness. Tria Kelly was only 18 and pregnant when she was gunned down on the Southside sidewalk. One September night in 2019, Tria walked with a friend near her home in Chicago's Back of the Yards neighborhood, chatting on the phone with her boyfriend. Suddenly, a figure in a baby blue hoodie emerged from an alley and opened fire without a word. The gunman shot Tria 5 times at point-blank range, killing her and her unborn child. Treja's horrified friend saw the shooter's face and ran as he fired twice in her direction. It was an execution in cold blood, and it was no random act. Just 3 months earlier, Treja had taken the stand as a key witness in a murder trial. She testified against a gang member, Deontay Davis, who had killed her 17-year-old cousin in 2016. Her
Damn. She thought motherfuckers weren't gonna look or help or think about that shit no more, you know? Damn.
Testimony made her a target, Treja's family later said, and they were right. Investigators believe Davis's associates put a bounty on Treja to silence her. In fact, prosecutors revealed that a 21-year-old man named Kavarian Rogers accepted $5,000 to execute the young witness. Rogers even bragged on Facebook afterward,
we ain't
posting
killing for
videos
$5,000
with
gang.
$100 bills and showing off expensive new shoes. I nailed the girl who testified, he boasted to friends, according to court records. Chillingly,
so we just openly snitching on ourselves for 2025 for like. I thought snitching back then was bad. Shit.
Authorities uncovered jailhouse phone calls, someone in custody discussing how to stop a female witness from testifying again. Tria Kelly's courageous testimony had helped convict her cousin's murderer, but it also signed her death warrant. On that dark September evening, the promise of justice was answered with revenge, as a young life was brutally cut short to keep a gang's secrets hidden.
The streets
Keith Daniels thought he could outrun the deadly reach of the gang he betrayed. In April 2013, the 27-year-old former gang member was living under federal protection after agreeing to become an FBI informant against one of Chicago's most violent crews, the Hobos. Daniels had worn a wire, secretly recording his one-time allies to help authorities indict the gang's leaders. But word got out on the street almost immediately that Keith is a snitch. He worked for the police. His one ominous Facebook message warned.
They played out BMF.
Hobos swiftly marked him for death. Threats started pouring in. Someone smashed a brick through his window with a note saying, "Everybody know you snitching. You got the nerve to still be living."
That's some movie shit. What the hell? Motherfucker throwing bricks in your window, breaking your glass and shit down. You pick the brick up. It's a piece of paper wrapped under saying, "You're a snitch. Dun 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 dun. A hairline like mine."
Explicit death threat. One of Daniels' former associates even confronted him at gunpoint in his own home. Fearing for his life, the FBI relocated Keith, his girlfriend, and their kids to a suburb, hoping to keep them safe. But it wasn't enough. On April 14th, 2013, violence found him. Keith Daniels was stepping out of a car with his girlfriend and her young children when a shadowy figure...
57 to St. Shit, that don't sound like the suburbs to me. Sound kind of back door to me, shit. Me sure the police ain't had nothing to do with that.
Approached. It was Paris Poe, a feared hobo hitman who had cut off his electronic monitor and tracked Daniels down. In an instant, Poe unleashed a hail of bullets. He stood over Daniels and pumped round after round into him, more than a dozen shots, even as Keith's stepchildren, just 4 and 6 years old, watched in terror. The little boy later described covering his ears because the gunfire was so loud. Daniels died there, in front of his family. He paid the ultimate price for breaking the gang code of silence. The message was unmistakable. Anyone who informs on the hobos will be hunted down, no matter where they hide. Years later, Paris poet and the hobo
He
leader
say no matter where they hide, your ass could go to Jamaica, go OT. You could go 5-seal overseas. They coming.
were convicted in a massive racketeering trial, with prosecutors calling Daniel's slaying a prime example of the gang's ruthlessness. Keith Daniels' courage in cooperating helped bring them to justice, but it cost him his life.
Right. Damn.
Christmas Day 2020 should have been a time of peace, but on Chicago's southwest side, it was marked by murder.
Talk to me.
That afternoon, police responded to a shot spotter alert, found 26-year-old Sebastian Serrano sprawled on the pavement in Gage Park, shot multiple times. As paramedics rushed him to the hospital, detectives began asking why someone would want this young man dead.
Right.
They quickly learned Serrano was not a random victim. He was slated to be the key witness in an upcoming murder trial, and that fact had sealed his fate. Months earlier, Sebastian Serrano had witnessed a killing and agreed to testify against the alleged shooter, 18-year-old Antonio Reyes. Reyes was awaiting trial in the Cook County Jail, but even behind bars, he plotted revenge. On jailhouse phones, Reyes was recorded ordering a hit on Serrano, telling a friend on the outside to take care.
Murder for hire in jail. You can't be doing shit like that. That's gonna give you more time, more days, more hours, more years.
Of the witness who could put him away. The friend he enlisted was 19-year-old George Reyes, no relation, a fellow gang member. To help, George Reyes and an accomplice devised a plan to lure Serrano in. They combed through Serrano's social media and found him on Snapchat. In fact, police later discovered that George had been stalking Serrano's movements online, even sending his girlfriend messages that he had almost got Serrano once. At one point, George tried to recruit a 13-year-old boy to be the trigger man, hoping to have a juvenile take the fall. When that failed, George decided
you was hunting this nigga down, texting this girl, and his girl ain't text him and tell him that what was going on. Sound kind of backdoor to me, shit. How the fuck you getting out so quick?
To do it himself. On December 21st, 2020, under the guise of a drug deal or meeting, the conspirators arranged for Serrano to be at a specific spot on West 52nd Street. As snow flurries fell that Christmas, George Reyes crept up and ambushed the unsuspecting Serrano. Gunfire rang out and Serrano collapsed mortally wounded, never to make it to the witness stand. The carefully laid plan to silence a snitch had succeeded. A man who tried to do the right thing was cut down before he could testify. It took investigators until the summer of 2021 to unravel the plot. Digital breadcrumbs told the story. Snapchat records placed George at the scene and linked him to incriminating messages. Jail call recordings captured Antonio Reyes coordinating the hit from his cell. When police moved in to arrest George, he led them on a high-speed chase that ended in a crash, a desperate bid for freedom that failed. In the end, both Antonio and George Reyes were charged, but their prime witness was already dead. Sebastian Serrano's murder sent a chilling warning.
They dude already dead, so it ain't like can't nobody talk. It's a win-lose situation. You don't have nobody to talk, but you still going to jail.
Through Chicago neighborhoods, even Christmas Day isn't off limits when a gang wants a witness gone. In another case, a witness was killed in plain sight of police officers. A brazen hit that stunned the city. Mutassim Suleiman was a 33-year-old father of 3 who ran a small cell phone shop on West Division Street. In 2016, he had witnessed a murder in his store. A man named Tommy Lee Pledge was shot to death, and Suleiman saw the gunman. He agreed to testify in the upcoming trial, identifying 2 suspects, Terrence Scott and Deshaun Jones, as the shooters. It was a courageous move, and by spring 2019, the trial was drawing near. But Terrence Scott, one of the accused, had no intention of letting Suleiman testify. From his Cook County jail cell, Scott spent weeks on recorded lines masterminding a plan to eliminate the lone witness against him. He found a willing accomplice on the outside, 19-year-old Kyrell Pittman, a distant associate hungry to earn gang clout. Pittman himself was out on bail on electronic monitoring for a gun charge when he was recruited for the job. On the evening of May 3, 2019, Pittman put the deadly plot into action. As dusk settled over
They left the pipe? Or was it a shootout?
Humboldt Park, Mutassim Suleiman closed up his shop for the night, unaware he was being watched. The moment Suleiman locked the door and walked toward his car, Pitman burst from the shadows with a gun in hand. He ambushed Suleiman on the sidewalk, firing multiple shots into the witness at close range. Incredibly, 2 Chicago police officers were nearby on patrol and heard the gunfire. They sprinted toward the scene and saw the shooter fleeing. One officer fired his weapon, but Pitman managed to dive into a getaway car and escape. Suleiman lay on the ground, fatally wounded, as backup officers swarmed to hunt the gunman. The hit had succeeded. The only eyewitness to the 2016 murder was now dead, killed in front of police just weeks before he would have testified. It was a shocking demonstration of how far gang members will go to protect themselves, carrying out a witness execution even with law enforcement on the scene. The investigation that followed revealed how meticulously the murder had been planned.